Well, I guess I deserved that. After the previous round, where I probably should have gone out. Now getting eliminated with a 0.7 is fair, I guess. So let's see what these guys are doing. Let's actually go with Gwen for the first round, because even though this is tech, where he shouldn't be the best, he is still looking like the favorite to take this. And just look at him go, he's going wall to wall, full YOLO every turn. That is so sick. But again, plus 74 in this. This is again an even better time than what I drove. So rounds are getting super tight right now. So even not crashing simply isn't enough to stay in anymore, as we're moving on to the 2 knockout portion of the tournament. So now that we've seen what Gwen is doing, let's see who's in last and who is fighting to stay in. Loudest, I think, is already out. That's gonna be insanely hard. Oh, Riolu barely avoids disaster there twice, but manages to survive, looking pretty good right now with Marius dropping down. It's looking like it's gonna be a battle between Marius and Riolu here. Loudest has DNF, so that's a 1 out. Riolu needs a really good last turn, but Marius has just too big of a gap, so unless anyone crashes in the poles, which isn't gonna happen, this time it's gonna be Riolu and Loudest. Let's go with Dolly. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he's a player for Team Shift. One of the older players who have recently returned to the game. Doing really well in this. I remember him being up there in the time attack seeding as well. But I don't know, let's see just how much longer can Marius survive. That line by Azure is amazing. He doesn't go for the Magna, he just jumps over everything, and he's in 11th right now. So it's working for him as Kubice drops out of the map. So that's a 1 out. Now Marius needs to catch up. One more spam crashes and Marius gets saved. Spam with the similar mistake as to what I did a couple of rounds ago. Maybe he just wasn't aware of how far ahead he was. So he might have pushed it a bit over the edge. Obviously, Novice is still in, one of the favorites to take this probably. Novice is a very well-known tech player who doesn't really participate in other styles. But he is for sure a master of this one. And he's already doing very well, and as usual we see Marius at the back. I feel like Azure is gonna get punished for that line sooner or later. Right now Marius not really able to catch up. Azure is dropping down as well. He needs a mistake at this point from someone. Like Shorty going for a very inside line. Azure catching up to Taurus and manages to do it. Azure with an amazing line in the end. Gets it on point and manages to overtake Taurus. Yeah, let's spectate Azure again. Let's see that line. So far, so good for him. He gets the best start out of everyone. He's surely gonna need it if he's gonna go for the same line. Now here he goes a bit wider as well. Wants to carry as much speed as possible there. And you can just see how costly that is as he makes a mistake as well. Matu is super far behind, so this is one of the more boring rounds, I'd say. The remaining 7 just need to save their way into the finish, as the scoreboard seems to be having a stroke. But that's gonna be it for Azure and Matu. And this top 7 is very stacked in terms of tech skill. The favorite on paper, of course, should be Carl Jr. But Gwen seems to be the one who's completely mastered this map. Now there's only gonna be one knockout, so any mistake is gonna mean that the other 6 are allowed to save their way into the next round. Bit of a reline there by Dolly, but manages to survive. And then clips onto the next turn, so easy job for the rest. He's already second behind first. I'm sure the others are aware of how big an advantage they have. So no mistakes from anyone else, and Dolly goes out in 7th. In top 6, and the game has decided we're gonna spectate Carl Jr. He's the person I wanted to watch anyway, because I don't think we've seen what he can do on this yet. So decent start for everyone except Shorty, who's a bit behind. We know that Shorty likes to get second in tech TTCs, and this is very reminiscent of one. So Shorty with the comeback right now. Carl has dropped down a bit. It looks like it's Carl versus Shorty at this point. Novice also dropping a bit behind the pack. Super close there by Novice on the left. Carl is still in last, but Scrappy right now dropping down. So Carl trying to attack Shorty. Shorty will have much more speed, and Carl actually goes out in a really fast round, where a .37 wasn't enough. So Shorty's dream of getting second is still alive. Let's go with Scrappy. He was doing really well in the start, but then started dropping down just a bit in the latter part of the map. And yikes. Looks like Shorty just might be going out here. Already clipped at the start. And on this map, when you know you don't have to risk, I'm pretty sure he just got screwed by his internet there. Either way, the gods of TrackMania are with Shorty. And I was just saying that it's really not that difficult to just bring yourself over the finish line when you have such a big advantage on a tech map like this. But then Novice gets disconnected or rage quit. I don't think he made a mistake even, he was within the pack and just disappeared. So I'm not really sure what he did. I might need to rewatch that one again. Either way, we move on and Shorty gets another life. This time gets it a bit better, even though he's still in last. Goes for a different line here, which will result in him having less speed, but then again Scrappy didn't do it the best either. So now we have 2 1v1s, Gwen and Bren. Looks like they're pretty safe in this round, and it's gonna be between Scrappy and Shorty. Shorty ran with a much better turn, but it's all gonna come down to the end. Can Scrappy maybe snipe him? No, but that's a really bad line there. And Scrappy goes out, Shorty again in that orange position. Let's stay on board with Shorty here. See, he seems to be the one who's getting the worst starts out of everyone. He might just need to risk it a bit more at this point, because we know what Gwen and Bren are like. This time he does get a better start, but then again gets overtaken by both the Frenchies in that turn where he doesn't go for the speed. Right now he will need to pull off a comeback, as he's dropping them further and further with each corner. Needs to go all out here in the end. Might be just able to catch up to Brand. He has a better line here. He has a little bit more speed, and Shorty survives one more time. Seems to have that end on lockdown, as he always gets it perfect. So it's gonna be Gwen versus Shorty. Gwen, who's been dominating this Cup of the Day, and Shorty, who wants nothing more than to get another second place. Oh, Shorty with a very nice line there. So Gwen is a bit behind going into this turn, but we know that Gwen is gonna push it. Now here, will Shorty adjust? Looks like he won't, so Gwen will have much more speed here, and Shorty already has an uphill task. That wasn't the best exit either, so he's gonna be almost 0.2 behind at this point, so Shorty really needs to make a miracle happen in the end. Distance is still around the same. Gwen manages to survive. Gwen just one turn left, and Gwen wins it. Shorty gets second. And it's just like in the old days. Either way, congratulations to Gwen for winning yet another Cup of the Day.